Dear students, in today's class, we'll be learning another new topic of organization behavior, that is challenges to OB. Even if the question comes opportunities to OB, you have to write the same. So, this is not only the challenges of OB, because these are the opportunities to OB also. What are the all the challenges or the opportunities? So, here is a big list. So, just I'll read out, then we'll go for explanation. Multiplicity of culture or cultural diversity. So cultural diversity is one of the opportunity or the problem of organization behavior. Fluctuations in demographic profile of workforce, so gender, sex, region, then religion, all these things. Then diversity in workforce, then mergers and acquisitions, innovative organizational designs, increasing awareness about quality, stimulating ethical behavior. These are all the challenges of organizational behavior. So we'll go learning one after the another. Multiplicity of culture or cultural diversity. This is one of the challenges to the organizational behavior, or this is one of the opportunity to the organizational behavior. Multiplicity of culture or cultural diversity or cross cultural dynamics means that people of different cultures will possess different patterns of behavior. So this we must be clear that people of different cultures will possess different patterns of behavior. So every culture people have their own pattern of behavior. So this is an opportunity. At the same time, this is a challenge. So it has been proved from various researchers that there is no one single management principle which is applicable for all the cultures. So you can't have a one management principle for all the cultures. So different culture people have a different behaviors. A set of beliefs, values, and attitudes which has been shared in common by the members of society is termed as a culture. So, what is culture? A set of beliefs, values, and attitudes which has been shared in common by the members of the society is termed as a culture. See, now we say culture of coastal region, or Mangalore culture we say, Kerala culture we say, because that community people are having a some kind of the values, beliefs, Indian culture we say in a broader way. So narrow way, when you go to the what you call communities, various communities are there. So what you call small castes are there, caste culture we say. So we can come to the narrow culture or in a broader culture. So we are part of not one culture, we are part of many cultures. Now we are part of culture of Karnataka, we are part of culture of Dakshina Kannada, we are part of culture of our own religions, we are part of culture of India. So we belong to many cultures in a broader, when you go broader and broader. So what you call beliefs, values, and attitudes in a particular society what we are following. Due to possession of different cultures in different countries, the behavioral patterns would be also be different in every country. So behaviors of the people differ. Now even in India itself, we see that people of now here, especially now Dakshina Kannada, they are different from the people of Bangalore, Mysore. So our culture is different and their culture is different. We need not go much far. We just move 100 kilometer far nearly to Kodagu, the culture differs from ours to Kodagu, or Kodagu to another place. That way, culture, multiplicity of culture. So behavior changes. That's why organization behavior, when we are studying, we have to study the diversity of culture. Next, fluctuations in a demographic profile of workforce. So there has been a continuous change in the demographic profile of workforce in Indian organization over a period of time. Previously, the workforce was not literate and all the activities were focused on meeting the demands of job and expectation on the basis of illiteracy. But nowadays, workforce is more educated, highly skilled, mostly fresher, and have more anticipations. So the demographic profile of knowledge workforce is absolutely different from other types of workforce. What is this? Now we must know demographic characteristics means their status, their literacy, that all things. So here now when we compare to the literacy rate and all, today it doesn't make much sense because everybody is studying and all, so everybody is skillful. But in the olden days there was a huge differentiation. But at the same time, even today when we are looking after the demographic characteristics such as they are what you call economic conditions, status, then this literacy level, there are changes, and that is also one of the factors or affecting the organizational behavior or behavior in the organizations. Due to increasing use of knowledge in the economy, the economy has been categorized as a traditional or industrial economy and a modern or knowledge economy. So, a knowledge economy refers to the economy which gains strength and power with the use of knowledge and skills of its human resources. I hope you understand that knowledge economy refers to that economy which gains strength and power with the use of knowledge and skills of its human resources. The more and more knowledgeable people, the more and more skillful people are coming, so more and more strength and power they will be obtaining. Diversity in workforce. According to Business Dictionary, workforce diversity has been defined in terms of age, cultural background, physical abilities or disabilities, race, religion, and sex. So these are the differences. So whenever whichever organization you go, all the people are not of the same, because even in the family itself, people are different. Some are of the young age, some are of the old age. So age differs, cultural background differs. So then physical abilities and disabilities. So some are disabled. So some kind of disability are there with some people, and in the ability also some are very strong, some are weak. That also we must consider. Then race, religion, different religion people, different sex. Okay, boys, girls, women. So there is a differences. Diversity in workforce is there. So this is also a challenge to the organization. In other words, of Rob McClellan's workforce diversity refers to policies and practices that seeks to include people within a workforce who are considered to be in some way different from those in the prevailing constituency. So, diversity in workforce has increased over a period of time due to various changes in the working environment. So earlier diversity was less. As the years go by, diversity is increasing, and there are various reasons for that. And we know that today people are traveling from one place to another. So and other there is a mixing of the religion, and different religion people are ready to work. Earlier it was not like that. Particular religion people only were working. Today they all together join in the organization. If you go, they don't give any importance to the religion. So that we have of different people of different religion working together. Then we have people from different cultures because of the movement of the people, mobility from one place to another they go. Now you see in Bangalore where people from different cultures are there. So all those things are diversity is increasing. It has become a challenge for the managers to understand the nature of workforce diversity and to solve various problems and issues linked with that. The concept of workforce diversity is applicable to all types of employees working in an organization. So, it is what you call consideration has to be given regarding the diversity in every kind of the organization. It may be a charitable organization, or it may be a production oriented organization. It may be a hospital, or it is a education institution, whichever kind may be. It may be a bank or a insurance company. In everything, workforce diversity is there, and it has to be given a paid a little kind of the attention. Next point is mergers and acquisitions. So, the progress of an organization can be ensured through the process of mergers and acquisition. So, what it says is organizations doesn't remain the same. So, at one point they are in a small, or sometimes they join together, merge together, two, three organizations. That time, what happens is employees of the other organization also merge, or sometimes acquire, acquisition. So, somebody is selling, so these employees become the employees of another. Now, mergers best example is of the bank employees. Now, you see Canara Bank, Corporation Bank and Union Bank merged. Canara Bank and Syndicate Bank merged. So when they are merged, the employees of one bank becomes the employees of another bank. So mergers have a problem. Merger has been defined as a process in which one organization merges with the other organization. I hope you understand. Acquisition is a process in which the control of one organization is acquired by the other organization. These are the explanation of the terms. And when this happens, what is the situation of the employees here? After the completion of the process of merger and acquisitions, there arises mainly two problems related to incorporation of human resource, which have been discussed as under variations in practices of management. Then second one is separation of employees from organization. So variations in practice of manner. See, they were employees of one institute now. Now it is merged with another, and now management style has changed. They have to be their way of going about is different. So that you have to understand. Then separation of employees from organization. So some employees will be separated. So their situation also has to be given a consideration. This is a challenge to the organization. Then innovative organizational designs. This is another challenges to the organizational behavior. Innovative organizational designs. So now as the trends are changing, so your organizational design also changing. The business environment is changing at a rapid rate. Therefore, there is a need to develop some creative and innovative designs or plans for the organization. So it's a need, the modern need. Earlier, organizational designs were based on hierarchy, division of labor, departmentalization, and equality between authority and responsibility. So there was hierarchical, one after the another. So if you remember this concept, what we have studied in your first this one organization, the organizational structures, line organization, line and staff organization, all those things. But in the modern era, the nature of persons holding a job and their job profile has gone through various changes due to automation of technology. Thus, the modern organizational designs are more flexible, dynamic, and innovative as compared to traditional organizational designs. So, modern organizational designs are more flexible today. It is not that rigid when we were in the olden days. So, and it also dynamic means they are ready to change and always innovative, think something creative, something new as compared to the traditional organization designs. That's why, according to this situation, when it is dynamic, the people who are ready to accept the changes should be there. Then what you call when they are thinking always innovative, that way all the things should be adjustable. Creative people are required. That's why when we are studying of the organization behavior, what kind of the people today's organizations are required. So this is an opportunity to the organizational behavior. At the same time, this is a challenge to the organizational behavior. Next is increasing awareness about quality. Today people are preferring for the quality products. You know, in the olden days, if the food regarding the food, if you get any food, people were eating because their interest was just to fill the stomach. Today people are looking after only the quality food. If there is no quality, people will not move to that particular restaurant or anything. I am speaking in the matter of food. Not only in the food, you go for other matters also. Nobody buys low quality products because today people are ready to pay more if the good quality, better quality products or goods are supplied. There has been a rising concern among the organizations about the quality of their products or services because of increase in competition in the market. Why quality they are stressing? Competition is very high. Quality means making good and standardized products and providing effective services to customers. So, in order to increase the awareness regarding quality, the various practices which can be adopted are total quality management, a Six Sigma approach, a regular upgradation of quality, and certification of quality. So all these matters they have to. These are the control techniques which are used to maintain the quality. So maintaining the quality is very important, and to do that, new orientation among the employees is more important. Otherwise, it is difficult. Therefore, people should be oriented towards producing a quality items and giving a quality service. So by following these practices, good quality of products and services can be ensured. Otherwise, you are not. So mindset of the employees should be changed. So this is a challenge to the organizational behavior. Thinking of the quality, and the employees should focus in that line. So next point, we have stimulating ethical behavior. This is one of the important, very important matter. The ethical issues related to organizational behavior are of prime importance because of evolving corporate governance practices in management all over the world, including. See, today what happened is not only in India, every places the ethical behaviors are stressed. So corporate governance practices are there. So everybody has to be more and more ethical, and organization need to be more ethical. So unethical practices cannot be promoted by any kind of the organization. The ethical issues include ethics related to business, which have been defined as a set of moral principles which play a dominant role in providing guidance regarding the conduct of managers and employees in the working of an organization. So ethics is a moral principles which are playing dominant part. So there are a moral principles to be followed by both managers and employees. So that are levied not only in particular organization, in a general norm. So that ethical concepts has to be observed. So what kind of the ethics of the people are there? So it has a great contribution from which part of the part a person has come, which culture is belonging. So accordingly, ethics have developed. So these principles will decide what is correct and what is incorrect. The effect of these principles is doing only the right act, evading the wrong acts. So what need to be done is people need to be oriented to do the right things and avoid the wrong things. So this is what more important. Next point is, so okay, here we are closing. So these are the points which you have seen, challenges or these also the opportunities for the organizational behavior. So just to recall all the points here: multiplicity of culture or culture diversity, this is one of the important in this point. Then we have said fluctuation in demographic profile of workforce, their income, then their what you call their education status, their other society status, position, that all the diversity in workforce. So all the other matters comes. Then mergers and acquisitions, I have said innovative organizational designs, increasing awareness about the quality, and finally we have stimulating ethical behavior. These are all the challenges and opportunities of the organizational behavior. Thank you.